now the world is totally crazy. It's insane. The world is insane. But having said that, I still don't think there's ever been a better time to live, especially for those who are willing to get out there, find the opportunities, make the most of it, have a good laugh along the way, meet people, connect, not take it too seriously. Hey folks, Danny here. Anybody else have the feeling that we're going to look back to this time where we are now, 2025, 2026, the 2020s, in about 50, 60 years? Look back and we're going to think, we had it all. We had it all then. Everything. Life wasn't perfect, of course, as it never is, has been, or will be. But I've got a sneaky feeling that we're going to look back in 50 years' time and think we had it all. Life was good in the 2020s. It was the perfect kind of storm, the perfect crossover period between the old way of doing stuff and the new way of doing stuff, whereby we have the kind of benefits of both worlds. We've got the benefits of the modern world. We've also got the benefits of the old kind of old world. We've got the wisdom. We've got a lot of people still alive and with us from the pre-technological world. And I just kind of think that at the moment we live in a time which is kind of good and cool. And I think we've basically, these days, actually, if you think of it, the average man now can live a life which even 20 years ago was inconceivable for most people. Only rock stars, and 100 years ago, 200 years ago, impossible. Even for kings, even for tsars, even for millionaires, billionaires 100 years ago. And we've got it all if we want it. And I guess that's the main question. Do we want this? Do we want this? And I think deep down most people do. But however, especially if we talk about men, the way I see it is that only about 10 to 20% of men are taking advantage of the world we live in, the globalized world, the world whereby you can work anywhere, you can just make a video on a balcony in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Caucasus Mountains in Georgia, and you can monetize this, and you can basically enjoy freedoms which no generation prior to us could even conceive. But having said that, it seems to me, especially when I go back to the UK, that 80 to 90% of men are kind of cooked by all this freedom. It stifles them. They are kind of slaves to their own desire, slaves to this thing in all of our pockets. And I can't talk about that because, I can't talk about that, but I can't talk from a righteous position because I'm no better, especially when it comes to the old phone. I'm probably even worse. But yeah, a lot of us are slaves to our desires. We're slaves to the freedom. We're slaves to ourselves. And it's all well and good, blaming the system, blaming feminism, blaming immigration, blaming this, blaming that. But actually, as you get out the West and you travel around the world, you actually see it's a pretty bloody good time to live. There's a lot of countries, Georgia, for example. Look at Georgia. 10 years ago, this city was nowhere near like this. 30 years ago, this city was a third world. This country, even 30 years ago, was a third world, crazy, chaotic, dangerous, mafia run, just crazy. Now look at it. 50 years ago, it was communist. The world is developing fast. And it's actually, especially, you don't notice this so much in the West, admittedly, especially in the UK. due to the kind of decline, which with the slow, steady decline we've been witnessing over the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years. But you get out into the world and you see that actually there's never ever been a better time to live. We've got crazy, unbelievable, infinite opportunities. We can work from basically anywhere. Anybody can do now whatever they want to do. Everyone's got a film studio in their pocket. You can buy this thing, a mic, for like £40. You can make good quality videos from anywhere in the world. You can jump on a flight to anywhere in the world for like less than €100. This year alone, I've been to like Vietnam, Korea, Kazakhstan. I was literally hopping between these countries for like 60, 70 euros. I think 90 euros between Korea and Kazakhstan. Accommodation, a lot of these places, we can complain about accommodation prices in the West. We can leave. We've got good passports, especially in the West. We can leave. We can find a flat for like $200 a month. We can, in a place like Batumi, a nice place. There's actually, if we talk about the world as a whole, there's never been a better time to live. If we talk about how connected we are, how we can find communities, we can find our people. There's people eager to meet you all over the world with similar interests, and they're waiting in WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, they're waiting in online communities. You can find these people, you can meet them. In the past it was impossible to meet people, to meet such a big amount of people with the same interests as you. It was just impossible. You were limited to the village or the town or the city. Now there's international communities for everything. World of Warcraft, whatever you want, you name it. Like surfing in boxer shorts, anything. You think of it, I'm sure there's a community for it. Naked skiing, anything. There's never been a better time to live than now. But for some reason, especially in the West, about 80% of young lads seem to be cooked by it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just overwhelmed by the choice. I don't know if it's because in the West we don't really see it so much compared to our parents' generation. Maybe it is quite monopolized. I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's a lot of freedoms in the world, but it's that unequally distributed, such as dating, for example, which I'm not naive to, of course, how the kind of dating market works now, where there is abundance. There's abundance which was unimaginable even to sultans in the past. There's abundance available to a guy with a bloody backpack and a laptop. But I understand kind of the kind of unequal distribution of this, but still it doesn't mean that you just should give up because it's a bit unfair, because this guy has more opportunities than me. I have quite a few opportunities. This guy has a lot more opportunities. It's not fair. I don't like it. I'm going to tear the whole thing down. What? There's still an abundance of opportunities out there in the world, in meeting social communities, in making money online, in finding a place which you like, finding a place which meets your needs, finding a suitable partner, dating, this kind of stuff. There has never, ever, ever been the freedom which we enjoy today in 2025 going into 2026. And I think it's daunting to a lot of young men. And if we actually get to the reason why so many young men are struggling now so much, it's an interesting question. I think that a lot of young men can't handle the freedom, can't handle the way things are now, and that's probably why a lot of young men are becoming quite right-wing. Let's go back to the 50s or 60s, let's go back to when life was kind of simple and understandable. This new modern world scares me. I need to get out there and find my opportunities and make my own opportunities, even though they are in abundance, instead of in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or basically at all time in history, life was basically presented to you neatly and tidily on a plate. This is what you'll do, this is who you'll marry, this is the lifestyle you'll live, and you'll be relatively similar to everybody else. Now the world is totally crazy. It's insane. The world is insane. But having said that, I still don't think there's ever been a better time to live, especially for those who are willing to get out there, find the opportunities, make the most of it, have a good laugh along the way, meet people, connect, not take it too seriously. Don't take it too seriously, I guess, something along them lines. Just get out there, enjoy it, take it for what it is. Don't take yourself too seriously. But yeah, in terms of the actual solution to why so many young men are kind of stifled by modern society and the freedoms which this entails on a global level, I don't quite know the answer to that. I guess it's something internal. I guess the work is to be done internally. It's not a problem which can be changed externally, because I don't believe there is a problem. The world is how it is. Is it problematic? I don't think so. I think the world is how it is. And I think we are going to look back, I guess, in like 50 years' time, and we're going to think, well, this was actually a relatively peaceful time. Of course, there are bad things happening in the world, as there always has been, but I think we are going to look back and think it was relatively peaceful. People got on, you know. I mean, Batumi is a city of hundreds of nationalities. Everyone kind of gets on. The different religions kind of get on. I've spent a lot of time in the Muslim world over the last few years, and as I see, they kind of get on. Like, they're not becoming radicalized. It seems to me like a lot of the world is becoming less and less radicalized. I've spent a lot of time in Muslim countries, and it seems that the younger generation are quite forward thinking, quite open minded, quite open to meeting new people and like world peace, this kind of stuff. How they behave in the West, I don't really know so much. Maybe it's a bit of a different story, but it seems to me like we live in a time of relative world peace, abundance, unlimited opportunities, but you need to get out there and make it yourself. It's not going to come to you anymore. Unfortunately, nobody is here these days to kind of tee up your life on a plate, and I guess that's something which I've kind of not learnt the hard way, but it's kind of my lifestyle has forced me to understand that from a young age. As a guy, I've lived here, there, and everywhere. I've always kind of been able to stand on my own 2 feet relatively abroad, here, there, and everywhere. How are we doing with the camera? All okay? But yeah, so that's my take on things. In terms of the solution, how we can get more and more young men to get out and enjoy the world, not stuck in their heads, not stuck on video games, not stuck on their phones, I guess there's also the downside to the freedom is that there are also 1,000,001 new addictions which we can have. There's 1,000,001 distractions, 1,000,001 ways to kind of also ruin your life in a way that in the past there weren't. I guess in the past, you wanted to ruin your life, you'd just go to the pub or you'd gamble it all away. There were only really 2 ways to do that. Now I guess there's 1,000,000 ways to ruin your life. There's 1,000,000 apps, dirty sites, that kind of stuff. Substances, in the form of, substances we can take both legally, medically, illegally, legally, but maybe could or should be illegal. That kind of stuff. Vaping. Fantastic, beautiful, shiny marketing on a lot of these devices now. Yeah, so I guess we live in a kind of extreme time, but for the guy who's got or is getting his shit together in a certain way, it's a world of abundance. It's a world of limitless opportunity. It's a beautiful world. It's a wonderful world. It's crazy how the lifestyle we can live now, the connections we can have with people from different cultures, corners of the world. The opportunities are just unbelievable, and it's such a pity that so many young guys in the West are kind of either oblivious to this. They've been told that's not how it is. They've been told online that the world's a kind of awful, messed up, dysfunctional place and it needs to be kind of taken back to the 50s, or they just can't deal with the abundance. They just can't deal with the freedom, with the vices. And I guess I want to think a bit about how we can actually, what we can do about that, how we can get more and more young people to actually get out there and live the life they want to live, finding inner peace, not taking this whole thing too seriously. And yeah, I don't know, but I'll think about it and I'll get back to you with some ideas. I guess I can use my own case study, which is far, far, far from perfect even now, but I guess I could look back at my own life and see kind of what has helped me to get to a certain level of just enjoying the abundance which the world has. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have a think. If you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments. What can we do? Do we live in the best time ever? Or is it a dystopia, as I hear bandied about quite a lot? Yeah, maybe in the West it might feel that way, like a dystopia, but like I say, we live in a globalized world now, and the world is not how it used to be. Anyway, let me know. Yeah, give me a like, give me a comment. I love the comments. I'll get back to you. If you want any advice or you want to call with me about how exactly you can set up a new life abroad, this kind of stuff, how to deal with the both material side of it and also the kind of internal getting used to a new life, a new culture, psychological side of stuff, get in touch. I have consultation calls, and yeah, see you again when I see you. Ciao for now.